nervous. I don't know why I did that. It's a bit spooky.
What was
Anyway.
spooky? What did you do?
I don't know. I don't know why that's spooky. That's not really spooky. It's just weird. But
Yeah.
I'll do it.
you'll do
Do
I'll
it?
intro.
Yes.
Hey guys.
Go.
I'm just kidding.
You're just kidding. You can do it.
Wow. I had like high expectations there. I'm like, we're having a cool intro, but no. You were going to bust out some rhymes or something. Okay, I've got it. Hello and welcome to the Ghost Book Archive, a creative writing podcast. This is chapter 5 and it's all about journaling. And today, as always, I am joined by Zilver.
Hi.
And also today we have a special guest, Alex.
Hi.
And we also have the demon cat.
Yeah. As always.
As always. And James, the little clown, just sitting there. He's not even looking at us. That's kind of rude. He should be paying attention, watching what we're doing.
Yeah.
But he's not. He's just...
He's watching the wall.
The wall. Very interesting. Did I ever tell you when I went to Iceland and I went to a modern art exhibit? And genuinely at this art exhibit, I went into, you had to pay to go in. And the main exhibit there was just a yellow wall of paint. And you stood there and watched the paint drying on the wall.
Yeah.
I would
That
cry.
was highlight of the
So
trip, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I was very upset because I wanted to go to the Phallological Museum, but my grandparents refused to go with me.
What is that?
Right.
It's basically a museum of whale dicks.
Oh. Fun.
Yeah.
You love looking at those?
I had never seen them before, but apparently one was like the same size as like a big sports hall. Just one. It was like, I needed to go see if that was true or not.
I needed to go see.
Yeah, I needed to. I should have gone on my own, but I didn't. Anyway, how do you feel like your journaling went? We all decided to journal for, I don't know. How long did you guys journal?
I've been journaling forever, so
forever.
Forever,
What, back to
like
childhood?
a year, 2 years,
okay.
Maybe.
I was thinking maybe you were 5 years old or something.
Yeah,
just sitting there writing down your
forever
thoughts.
and ever.
Mm-hmm. 5 years old.
5 years old. What kind of things would you write about when you're 5 years old?
I lost my toy today. Or
How
like,
mad at my parents I was.
Yeah.
I got in trouble today.
I'd just probably write things about the creepy bunny in the costume and stuff that I saw on the train.
What?
Exactly.
I used to be terrified of people in like mascots. I used to like
True.
scream if I saw them, so I would stay away. Anyway, so how do you feel your journaling has been going for, say, the past week or so?
Good. Just kind of boring. It's just
kind of boring.
My days and trying to like include some fun parts, but it's just like I haven't been doing a lot of fun stuff lately, so
I hope you haven't made anything up. Like it better not be filled with lies.
I did not make anything up, and that's why it's boring.
I don't just journal about what actually happened. I do make up lies, but like that they're lies. Like one page that we'll probably get into later is my will I survive or would I survive page. That's a fun one.
Okay, I'm excited to hear about that. That does sound fun. I mean, you're surviving up there in the sky right now, so you must survive a lot of things.
Oh yeah.
I can't believe you're skydiving while doing this podcast. That's insane.
Yeah, I just wanted to switch it up.
We'll never have a guest doing anything as exciting as that.
True.
We've all prepared poems. I don't know exactly what you guys have written about. I know you're both making faces thinking about your poems. I'm happy with my poem, but I kind of cheated a little bit. We'll get into that. So who would like to read their poem first?
Nobody?
No volunteers, no little hands going up?
If I hate mine, should I go first?
Yeah, let the guest go first.
Guest first.
Yeah, you volunteered yourself. So.
I do regret asking that. Yeah. It doesn't really have a title.
That's fine.
Okay.
Before you start, how do you feel about it? Just for everyone listening, how do you feel about your poem?
I feel crazy about it. I don't really like it. I haven't written stuff in so long, so I'm the best guest for this podcast about writing.
Perfect.
But I had like a lot of rough drafts, I might send them to y'all. They're like crazy. And then I scratched all that and then wrote this today. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. All right. Well, when you're ready.
I have anxiety, so I'm gonna stutter. Hold on, I'm trying to read again.
What should we hold on to?
Everything. I am gonna stutter. This is crazy.
Ben, are you
I
there?
always stutter so much. The
Okay, good.
episodes are like edited heavily because
Yeah.
I
If
stutter so much. It's
Really?
crazy. Like
I swear we have
every
like
line.
we probably have
Okay.
20 minutes of footage every episode that I cut just of you stuttering. I should have
Okay, good.
I should get it all and I put it all
Yeah.
together
Oh
just as
no,
like
that's
a
gonna
funny
be the
compilation.
worst.
This will probably like equal that every episode.
We'll
Whatever.
see.
No, I don't
I
think
doubt
Okay.
it.
you can do it. I believe in you.
She stood facing the fork in the road head on, the wind passing as she peered at both rickety bridges in front of her, mind racing of the endless possibilities. If she didn't make a decision, then she couldn't make the wrong one, right? The ground she stood on eventually conformed beneath her feet, weeds starting to sprout between her toes. The longer she stood, the more the wind would act as a weight, pushing her deeper and deeper into the earth, preventing any thought of progressing forward.
That was
That's it.
good. That was good.
Amazing.
Why do you hate
Thanks.
that?
I was
Um,
wondering that too.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's like natural to hate whatever you write. Um, to me, it doesn't really give poem. It
A
gives
lot of
like
Poems
poems don't give
can,
poem though.
yeah,
okay.
that's exactly. It's as long as it's like a short, deep thing. I feel like it's a poem.
Is it
Yeah.
though?
Anyways, yeah.
Okay.
And I think I think a big thing of poems as well is sometimes maybe double meanings or
Mm-hmm.
maybe just imagery, things rather than
True.
being super detailed and specific. So being a little bit vague as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you had all that covered. I
Yep.
like the part
Awesome.
about the indecisiveness sort of thing. I
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
The toes,
Yeah.
the weed sprouting through her toes. And also, I read this before,
Mm.
because Alex was freaking out, so I had to send her my poem so she could see like what was up,
Yeah.
and she showed me hers. So yeah.
I don't know why, but the weeds sprouting out between the toes for some reason. For some reason, I'm just imagining someone standing in the grass, and these little weeds are coming out and almost making little loops around them and holding them in place. They're about to be devoured by the ground.
Right.
Mm, that's
You can
cool.
Some,
imagine whatever you imagine.
yeah.
That might be what I imagined. I'm starting to wonder now why she wasn't wearing shoes.
Oh well, could be a lot of reasons. Like
She just wanted to feel connected to the earth.
All
yeah,
right.
There's a whole thing people like to walk like barefoot in nature and stuff.
or it goes
So
through the
true.
shoes. They go through the shoes and
Mm,
between her toes.
So right.
yeah.
That's what I meant.
Could have been flip flops or something. Can you say the line about the rickety bridge again?
The wind passing as she peered at both rickety bridges in front of her.
Yeah, that's like
Mm,
choice. Which bridge do you want to cross?
mm,
Yeah, the fork in
Yeah,
the road, the indecisiveness. It's like
yeah,
she can't make a decision,
mm,
can't
yeah.
progress forward.
yeah.
And I assume that's you talking about yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a changed thing recently. I've started to step away from this, but it's given me a better perspective on like how I've been in the past years. Kind of stagnant in my progression of life. Like there's so many things that I want to do, but I just don't for whatever reason, people are like that, like anxiety or,
Mm,
whatever reasons.
Mm,
true. And also these
yeah.
poems, I don't think we said it, but they're supposed to be like about something about our lives, right? So we all
Mm,
decided to have like a introspective moment with the
yeah.
poems.
And so you said about how you said like you felt stagnant and undecisive and stuff. And so would you say that's just a recent thing? Is it something you've gotten better at recently, not being that way, or is it just like a general sort of statement for life?
It's definitely something I'm stepping away from, which is crazy. Like, it's very cool to have the perspective of me, I don't know, looking down or looking at the past few years of myself and seeing how stagnant I was, and then now making steps towards things right now. I don't know. If I feel a lot different now,
Mm,
Hmm.
able to progress more, do things that scare me more.
Yeah, you're
yeah.
doing so good lately. I
Thank
also
you.
didn't tell the people that you're my best friend. So
Oh yeah, you're the
Alex
love
is
of my
here
life.
because yeah, you're the what should I say? Everything.
I had
Am
another
I?
point to make.
Point to
Did,
make. You
yeah,
always do.
I'm pointing. Do you have a point to make?
No.
No, just
Moving
no.
on.
Nothing to
Anyways.
say. Absolutely nothing to say.
Anyway.
Uh, did you have a favorite part of the poem? Like any line that in particular that you wrote that stood out to you or that meant most to
Hmm.
you?
Oh my goodness. So I don't want to say I had a favorite line, but I will say when before I wrote this poem, like all of the lines that I would write, I'd be like these are too like straightforward. They're so I don't know, they're too in your face like wow, this is kind of sad,
Mm.
you know? But then I wrote something and I said fork in the road or I think I heard someone say fork in the road and I was like that's it. So I
Fork.
that's the whole thing that made this poem happen, which is my favorite part, I guess. The fact that I could write the poem.
Yeah. So the fact that you actually got it done.
Yeah.
You got some inspiration. That's good.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
We were speaking about this the other week when we recorded a crime episode because Zilver was really struggling and it was like I really hate everything I'm writing. I hate everything about this. But I was making the point that sometimes it is really hard to write something, but it's an accomplishment in itself. I think that you manage to write it even though you hate the process or even though you're
Yeah.
struggling or even if you hate how
Yeah,
it turns out. The
100%.
fact that you actually managed to write it and complete something that says a lot and it's takes some strength to actually do that.
Yeah, it was
True.
hard.
And also fork in the road. For some reason, I know fork in the road doesn't mean this, but I'm just thinking of a little tiny fork lying on the road and like little people walking on it for some reason.
I would like to say that you underestimate yourself a lot. And I keep saying that you're really good at writing, and you keep saying that, no, I'm not. But after you read this, I'm like, you gotta understand now.
Yeah, I used to be like I used to write so much. Zilver knows that. But that was like when I was forced to write in school and it was like the
Mm,
only class that I liked. Um but I feel like I would stand out when I would write when I was forced to and had prompts and stuff. I even had like competitions that I would enter and I think I won once, but I don't know what I wrote about. Um but after like school and stuff, I just took so many breaks and or a huge break from
Mm,
writing. So I'm out of practice.
I think it's very normal for people who write to be very self-conscious and self-critical of their own work.
mhm.
Like I
Mhm.
do it all the time. I know Zilver does it all the time. I've
Oh yeah.
spoken to other writers who do it. I've seen authors, like best-selling authors, who hate what they write. I see a lot of even artists in general. Anyone who makes things,
Mhm.
most of them tend to be very self-critical of what they're doing, and it takes them sometimes a while to accept that it was at least decent.
True.
It was anything but bad. I think
Mhm.
sometimes when you think something's really good, you can be a little bit blind to what you've done. So sometimes it's nice to have that critique, but it can be overwhelming as well because it means you suddenly get anxious and you don't want to share things or you don't want to put it
True.
out there because you're worried that other people are going to see how crap your thing was when really it
Mhm.
wasn't crap at all.
Mhm. Also, I feel like there's this like stigma of like writing something or like being deep or making something is like cringe. Like everyone thinks it's kind of cringe if you like
How
talk
dare
about
you
it or
care?
yeah. Yeah, it's like that.
I agree.
Anyways, yeah. Who wants to read next? Me or Ryan?
Well, you choose. Do you want to read or should I?
I can just read it. Get it over
Okay,
with.
go for it. How did you feel yours went?
I actually was pretty happy about it, but mostly because I had fun with it and
Okay,
also I feel like I did something a little new, which was also kind of fun to try.
okay. Well,
So,
I'm
yeah.
interested to hear this then.
Okay. I just titled this poem about my life. Constant crawling, crippling, tingling, thudding, trying thoughts intermingling. Inked insides itching, boiling, bright broken brain spoiling, singing spells spark within, witch wearing warm skin.
I feel so uncomfortable hearing that one.
Wow,
That's
you always
my
feel
first instinct.
uncomfortable hearing my poems.
Yeah, it's the tingling and the crawling and the intermingling and the wearing the skin and the spells in within and the broken brain and the itching and the boiling, and it's you've got all these words in there, and it's I don't like it. I don't want any of
Mm,
those feelings. Keep them all away from me.
hmm, okay,
Little bug
okay.
in your brain's like forcing these out.
Yeah, it's the bug. It's always the bug.
It's definitely very evocative of certain feelings. I see what you mean that you've done something different.
Hmm.
Like a lot of your poems, as we always say, are very external and about things. You've very much done the internal thing. So you've accomplished this task. That's for sure.
What you did, is that called alliterations?
I'm not sure
Yeah,
what it's called, but probably.
alliterations when you use the same letter at the start of
Yeah.
multiple words in a row.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, is that what you meant when you were doing
Yeah, I just
something
know I've
different? I
read
love
some.
it. It was so good.
Yep.
yeah. The actual
Um.
structure is different. Yeah, it's definitely made me feel very uncomfortable. That's what I would say to start with.
Hmm.
Uh, and it sounds like you yourself having almost a bit of a crisis, putting out your uncomfortable feelings and stuff with life, and all this nervousness and anxiety and onto the paper.
Hmm.
Do you have a favorite part of it? Was there a specific line that it means most to you, or you felt most about?
I like the two last lines.
Singing spells spark within, witch wearing warm skin.
Yeah.
So you're calling yourself a witch.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well,
Interesting.
I do feel like, well, I'm also like spiritual. Yeah. A bit, and I often feel like kind of cold, but
Mhm.
I am still wearing warm skin, even though my hands are always cold.
My hands are cold right now. I think it's just
Yeah.
from reading that.
No, but yeah, it's more like it sounds worse than I felt. I mean, it sounds worse than what I was thinking while writing it. It's more like I was trying to like show sort of the feeling of like sort of feeling uncomfortable in
Mhm.
your own skin and with your own brain, because
Yeah,
like somehow I'm always like I'm thinking a lot, and
yeah,
even though it doesn't look like it, I have a lot of like tingling feelings.
yeah. It's that phrase, the hamster may be dead, but the wheel is still spinning.
Oh, wow.
Never
I
heard
think I
that.
messed up that phrase. I don't know if that's the right phrase, but it sounded fun.
Hamster.
Talk a little bit about the line inked insides, itching, boiling. What were you thinking writing that line? That one stands out to me.
So it's like on the inside, I feel different than I
Mm-hmm.
look, or how I'm perceived is like different than I feel, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
And when people talk to me about like how they see me and stuff, I'm always like, what? That's how you see me?
Yeah.
And inked, I mean, like, I feel darker than maybe like I'm inked, like a squid. I don't know.
A squid.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
That's
know.
your new name.
Squid.
Squid you.
Ew. I don't like that.
Anything to say, Alex, about this? Or anything to ask?
I always love everything you write. You're saying this is like anyone perceives you, like casual people perceive you, and you feel different from how the majority of people around you perceive you.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I love it. I think you captured that meaning very well. It's interesting that you say it comes across different than whenever you felt writing it. I think that's so interesting and very I don't know, it's a very good perspective or different perspective on it because of the way you writing it and then how we hear it. Because when
Hmm.
you're right, whenever I hear all these alliterations, it sounds like a build up and build up of like just about to explode almost
Hmm.
of like
Mm.
a lot of anxiety ridden feelings, and then you said
Yeah.
that you weren't feeling that whenever you were writing that, so to me that's interesting.
Yeah, I was feeling kind of good when I was writing this because I'm more of like I look back at things when I write
Yeah,
instead of like
yeah,
feeling it in the moment.
Mhm.
Um,
yeah.
so I still feel like I have a lot of these feelings because people perceive me as very calm, and my mom often says like it doesn't show on you when you have like anxiety or when you're nervous, and I'm like,
But
what?
inside,
I'm
you're like,
literally dying right now, and she's like, you seem so chill and calm, and I'm like, what? I'm dying right now. So that's kind of something that I've been thinking about lately.
that definitely. Again, I'm just every time I look at it, I feel a little uneasy. Just certain like just crawling and tingling and the itching and yeah,
Yeah,
you did a very good job of that sort of uncomfortable part.
yeah.
This might be my favorite poem you've done so far on the podcast.
Really? Wow.
Might be. I'm
Might
trying to
be.
remember if there was another one I preferred, but I don't think there is. I
Thank
like this one a lot.
you. That makes me happy. Also,
Right?
you
Any?
sent me a picture of like this bug with a head. And that's like maybe what's inside.
Yeah, that's
You
definitely
said
what's inside. It was a
that's
bug
you.
with a clown head or something. Yeah,
Like a what centipede?
yeah, and maybe yeah, it was a centipede, I
Gross.
think.
Because it's always like crawling, trying to get out.
Yeah. Ugh, I can feel them under my skin now. It's like,
Ew.
no, thank you. Ban bugs. I want a world without bugs.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
I just hate the idea that what if aliens are actually bugs? And
True.
then
They
just,
look like some type of
yeah,
alien.
some mantis race comes across to the earth and just starts eating our heads.
No, but
I'm not
mantises are
happy with that.
cute. That's like one of the
Not
cute
when they're
bugs.
people sized. Not if they're people sized.
Yeah, they're
Did
still
y'all
cute.
watch did y'all watch The Day the Earth Stood Still? I think that's the name of it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, I
with
have.
Will Smith,
Oh,
right?
maybe I don't
No, that's
remember.
Keanu Reeves, I think.
Oh, my bad. I'm probably mixing up movies, but
You
isn't
probably
that the
are.
one with the huge like bug people, or am I wrong?
I don't think the Day the Earth Stood Still is bug people.
I don't
Is it?
know. There's some
It's
movie
been
with
so
like
long.
bug people come and they like take over and they're like the new government and they're aliens like bug people. And I
I
swear
feel
Will
like I've
Smith is in
seen
it.
that.
I think you've
Yeah.
just been like watching my nightmares.
Yeah, yeah,
True.
yeah. I'm probably mixing up like 10 movies.
Probably. I mean, I
Ryan,
think you're right. I think that is a thing.
Ryan,
I know
didn't
there's like
you?
one movie, Eight Legged Freaks, and that's about like spiders.
Ryan, you
Like
told
huge
me about your
spiders.
dream on yesterday or something about the hamster and the cat.
Yeah. I had a dream the other day. I'm trying okay, so there was this I was standing at my front door and this cat was on my front door, climbing up my front door from the outside, and somehow it got its paws and its claws were coming through my door. It had managed to
Aw.
scratch under, and it was like, this is strange. It's like a demonic cat, and it crawled. And for some reason, the top of my door had a big gap. Like maybe there should have been glass there or something, but it wasn't. And this cat gets to the top and it squeezes its way in, drops in, and I'm like, oh shit. And my worry for some reason isn't, oh no, I've got someone's random cat. My worry was it's going to piss everywhere. It didn't, but it ran through my hall and it ran into my living room and it closed the door behind it. I was like, well, that's a strange thing, the cat closing the door. And I walked over and I opened the door and my pet hamster, apparently I have a pet hamster. I didn't know that. And it wasn't even in its cage, it was just wandering on the floor. My pet hamster's lying there dead. It's just been killed. And also, I apparently have this pet penguin. It's not really a penguin. It's a plushie. It's a plushie,
Mhm.
but it's sentient and alive. But it's bleeding and it's dying because the cat just mauled it. So I'm like trying to get this cat out of the room, and the poor penguin called Pogo. I don't know why I knew it was called Pogo. The penguin's called Pogo, and I'm like, Pogo, no! And this cat's there, and I'm like, what do I do? My penguin's about to die. It's killed my hamster. This cat is ruining my life. Anyway, that was.
Of
I
course,
don't
you're
know why you
dreaming
brought up the
about.
dream, but yeah.
I don't know why either. I just remembered you told me about the hamster.
You
I had
have
a
to
really weird dream last night as well, but I forgot what it was.
Mm.
decipher what the cat dream means.
Yeah,
Oh.
I should. I actually have I use a dream journal app, and there's an AI dream interpretation feature on it, and you can press a button and it will analyze it and tell you what specific parts of the dream supposedly mean.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh,
didn't do it for
goodness.
that one though, so but I should.
You should.
Yeah, just to have a look.
Do that.
Yeah. Anyway, nothing else to say about this poem. We done with this one?
Nope. Your
No.
turn.
My poem is long.
Yeah, of course.
This poem was originally something I wrote. It wasn't really a poem, and I wrote it at the end of last year when I was feeling pretty down a little bit. Uh,
Mhm.
I tend to go through little phases where my mood kind of goes up or down or whatever. And as I'm down, I start making notes on my phone, and then I sort of put them all together, and I turned it into like a little short film project with compilation of images and stuff. Um, but basically, I've remastered that, shortened it down to a much smaller amount, and turned it into a little bit of a poem. So
Mhm.
it's much more depressing than either of yours as well. But we'll
Okay.
go for it.
I'm
So
excited.
I am sick with grief, yet nothing's lost except myself, the first and only cost. The light it touched, but never warmed. I wept as it stayed, my soul transformed. The world made sense to none but fools. Why crave more than solitude's rules? Obsession devoured, then spat me out. A shell of dreams, of fear, of doubt. Ambition is a disease, sick with want, in vain. No prize, just thoughts, and endless pain. Desire is illusionary, a transitory itch. I gave my all, but my wish chose to switch. Flung to the void, it hurled me back. No spark, no joy, just endless black. Fixation spoke, then faded away. They plunged me deep, but did not stay. My dreams so vibrant, yet made from thorns. I'm bled dry by what my mind adorns. I sent away what made me whole. Now hollowed out, I've lost my soul. I wish I were cruel, but can't comply. A hypocrite caught in my own lie. Despair I tease, yet still I fight. My heart enslaved to endless night. Fear of the end forces me ahead. In darkness I find peace instead. I've strayed and lost myself for naught. The light now burns what I have sought. I am not a man, but flesh and dejection. Yet I love my fate, it brings reflection. Immortal now, my doom embraced. In fate's cold grip, my soul is graced. Very
Wow.
depressing. Or
No, that was
cheery.
so like it flowed so well. Like every line just easily transitioned into the next one. Made me
Yeah, I've been
feel very
busting out the
like,
rhymes.
yeah, you busted out some rhymes in there.
Yeah. After saying I never rhyme, suddenly I've just every
Yeah,
time went
every
rhyme,
time.
rhyme, rhyme.
Maybe you got like a thing for rhymes now.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
You just
that was a
started
big
liking to rhyme.
yeah, that was part of the problem when I was remastering this because before it was just a huge mess of rambling and words, and I thought I need to make this flow better, so I trimmed it way down. This is like a
Mm.
third of the size the thing started at, and
Wow.
I just kind of trimmed it down, made things maybe a little more vague, and tried to add some rhymes in there as well.
So this one really caught my attention. The flung to the void, it hurled me back. No spark, no spark, no joy, just endless black. Felt very sad, but also very like
Yeah,
well written, sort of. Yeah, I felt your emotions.
yeah, it's just this weird sort of feeling that you almost want to engulf yourself in nothingness, almost like trying to throw yourself to oblivion, but then it's almost you're being refused. I don't even know how better to word that other than how I worded it.
Yeah.
It's a really strange feeling. Um, I would describe a lot of the way when I write stuff like this is like melancholic euphoria. I
Hmm.
get very into those feelings of sadness when I write types of things like that, and I
Hmm.
almost it's almost like an addiction a little bit, and it feels like bliss to be so sad and so deeply
Yeah.
dark.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's my favorite part was I don't know. I don't know what favorite part is. I kind of liked it all. I
Hmm.
thought it went well. I thought it flowed.
So
Cool.
whenever I was listening, I picked up on what is it when people say ignorance is bliss. I feel
Mm,
like that was almost a theme throughout the whole thing. Like when you said the world made sense to none but fools, that's the first thing I thought. Like, and maybe I don't know, like blind happiness or something is what I
yeah.
was picking up on, or the line I wish I were cruel but can't comply, like you're just too aware. of certain things or how you feel. I don't
Mhm.
know. That's the
No,
theme that I
yeah.
was picking up on is ignorance is bliss. I'm not sure if that's what you were
That
almost
is
going
part of
for.
it. That's part of it. I don't know if that was my,
Mhm.
main, purpose, but it's definitely part of it. Just the idea that sometimes it is nice to not think about things, and life is
Mhm.
easier if you're not thinking all the time, whereas I'm just constantly overthinking about everything, and it's
True.
when you overthink this. There's some stat I read or some study I read before, and it's about people who think about themselves more are more unhappy than people who don't think about themselves. And it's
Mm.
because the more you think about yourselves, your own situation, anything like that, uh, the more unhappy you're going to get because you're going to overanalyze things. You're going to worry about things. Whereas people who are a bit more ignorant, as you say, ignorance is bliss. You can step back from that and kind of just live on and smile.
Smile.
Very
Yeah,
true. But I do really like it was almost like a flip whenever you were reading your poem. It was at the end, yet I love my fate, it brings reflection. I loved it. I
yeah,
loved it. I even loved the way you read it. Because it was like it was lines and like chunks of like this dread and despair, and then the last one it's like a quick, yeah, I love that. Like
yeah,
I am appreciative of the way my brain thinks and how um I don't know, reflective I am.
yeah,
Like that's what I was
yeah.
picking up on. I love it. I love that last line.
That
Mhm.
was probably my main intention. Uh, when I wrote this, as I said a few minutes ago, I get very like into it. I'm feeling everything as I write. The opposite of what Zilver said earlier. Like you like to reflect on the, whereas I like to be in the moment while I'm writing these things. And so I was actually struggling trying to write something for this because trying to write something new, I've been feeling okay recently, which is why I ended up deciding to remaster this. So I was kind of going back and exploring the old feelings while I was from when I did write this. But in the end, the way I kind of got through how I was feeling when I wrote this was kind of that last part where it had the flip. And it's just this feeling of I decided last year at some point or towards the end of the year, the start of this year, I kind of got this attitude of just what will be, the whole que
Mhm.
sera, sera type thing. And it's okay. It's not, there's all these things that are out of my control, but let's just, it is what it is. And so instead of fighting it, instead of hating it, just love it for what it is. Love fate. Just let fate be fate. It is what it is.
Mhm.
That's the ring I'm wearing right now. You can't really see it, but it says amor fati on it, which is Latin for love of fate, and it's kind of the same thing. And I kind of got this ring at the same time as I wrote this, and that was kind of like me trying to remind myself that I had this conclusion in my head, and so I
Mhm.
like to wear that ring as like a reminder, just to, and it does actually help. It doesn't matter how bad something is, just like it is what it is. Don't
Mhm.
worry about things that are out of your control. I mean, it's obviously easier said than done,
Yeah.
but out of your control, there's no point stressing about those things. And that's kind
Mhm.
of the end point. My soul is graced. Okay. Uh,
You say a lot that you can't write when you're feeling like happy or like when you're feeling okay. You say like you can
mm,
still write about your more happy feelings or good feelings as well. But are you like do you more gravitate towards writing the dark sort of
hmm
stories or about
yeah.
like your
If
dark feelings?
if it's about me, yes. About other things, like I can write a little happy, funny story about. Like I've
Mhm.
done that in some of our past
Yeah.
episodes. It's been not so dark, but if I'm writing about myself, I don't really. This sounds really sad to say, but I don't feel like I have that many hugely positive emotions that I think about.
Mhm.
Like I feel happy about some things, but I wouldn't say that it ever. Like I don't. If you said to me, "When was the last time you were really happy?" I probably couldn't tell you. I'd be like,
Mm.
"When?" I don't know, but I do distinctly remember times I wasn't happy.
Mhm.
I don't know. For some reason, those just stick with me more, and I connect with
Yeah.
them more. And so I feel much more comfortable writing about those things. I think it's almost therapy as well. As I write this type of thing, it's like you're releasing that tension, you're releasing
Yeah.
that negativity out. Even if you're just putting it on papers, you're getting it out of you and putting it somewhere. You're putting it into the world, doing something with that energy.
True.
So, so yeah,
You
I
know,
definitely connect more with that.
it's kind of cool. It's almost like the poem is a timeline. for you on your emotions, because
Mm,
majority of the poem is so like, sad. Um and then the very end is the switch, and you said just
yeah,
last year, so when you had that switch or that realization, like it is what it is. So it's very much like a timeline of your whole life. I really like
yeah.
that layout in this poem.
Mm.
That's something you've actually picked up on. I forgot to even mention that. The very first paragraph, maybe a bit of the second as well, is kind of that when I first wrote this, and it's more the case in the little short film I made with the longer version of this. Uh, it is kind of a timeline because the idea about accept myself, the first and only cost, and that sort of thing, that was all supposed to be about almost when I was first born, and the light touched me but never warmed, and it's like the light of almost the world touching me, but I never
Mm.
quite fit in, never quite adapted to it, and then it all goes on to the world didn't make sense to anyone but fools, and that's me almost being a bit like everyone around me is a bit of a fool, being a bit of an arse there. But why crave more than solitude rules? Like I would much rather just be in my own company rather than with the world. So you did pick up on that there. It's very much like a timeline of
Mhm.
events. So I'm glad you got that.
I wanted to ask you both, what is the thing that inspires you most to like write? Or if you have to write something, what do you do to like get into the headspace of
Mm.
writing?
It was kind of different with this task that y'all tasked upon me, because it was like, oh my gosh, I have a deadline and I'm doing
Hmm.
it for them, so throughout my whole writing process, I don't know. It wasn't there. I wasn't really motivated to write throughout this whole
Mm.
entire thing. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I have to write," you know?
Hmm.
And I think that kind of translated through every single one of my poems before the last one, because every single one was about anxiety. And
Hmm.
you could like see me stopping
Mm.
mid sentence and then just going to write a different one because I was like, this sucks. Gotta go. Gotta rewrite, which is funny. So this one was definitely motivated by anxiety. Otherwise, in my day to day, I don't really write poetry or stories like you two. But this episode is about journaling,
Hmm.
and whenever I am inspired to journal, it's normally things that make me think. Whenever I get aware of what I'm thinking about, like there's a page in my journal that is like quotes people say that resonate with me. Like I'll write about
Oh,
that, or like things that change my mind or make me ponder. It's kind of mostly about other people. You know,
yeah.
Yeah,
that's my motivation, I guess.
that makes a lot of sense.
Hmm.
I think for me, it's more I cannot force myself to write really. I try and it always fails. For me, writing comes when I get an idea. And so I'll think about it and I'll be thinking about it and stressing about it for maybe days. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I need to do something. And I'll be doing nothing all day because I'm just sitting there thinking of an idea. And then it'll be one night I get into bed and I'm lying there and it's like, bam, there's the idea. Or I'll be watching something on TV and something stupid is said, or I see something, or someone I'm talking to says, I'm like, that's the idea. And it's just something small. And
Hmm.
suddenly I develop that and I'm like, okay, now I know what I'm going to write. I need to think on it and then I'll get the idea. Or even usually when I get the idea, I'll just let it stew in my head for a few hours first and just think. And once I've got the idea, then I start writing it. I'm not very good at just sitting down and thinking, what am I going to write? And then, oh, what's going to happen? I need to kind of know it already in my head or else it
Hmm.
does not work. It never works. So for me, I don't know how to get the motivation. It just kind of comes from interacting with people or watching things or just interacting with the world, I guess.
Hmm.
And eventually it hits me when I'm not expecting it.
What about you, Silver?
Yeah.
Um, Often when when I have a deadline or have to like write something for the podcast, I go into my notes app. I usually write on my phone because that just feels more chill. I can sit in my couch and just listen to music while trying to think. And I'm kind of more opposite from Ryan on the aspect that like you have to like have like an idea before you write. But often for me, I get ideas if I just start writing. So I can start out with like just some like scenery lines, like something about what the scenery looks like or what the person is feeling, and then I'll just naturally, yeah, find something more to write.
Yeah. I love how all of our approaches can be different. Like that's one of the amazing parts about writing or making anything in general. Just the fact that people can have such totally different approaches to what actually motivates them or how they go about the process. And none of the things are necessarily right or wrong. It's just that everyone
Mhm.
has their own different thing. We could probably speak to another five people and they might all have a totally different sort of motivation behind what they write as well. And I love
Mhm.
that. So, for the past little while, we have all been doing a little bit of journaling. We've all done this very differently, I believe. We've all done totally different things here. But just the task was journal about your sort of day to day, I don't know, your feelings or things that have happened. Or just, I don't know, I don't know if we've all done the same thing. We're going to find out. But I'm going to start with what I've done and we will see from there. So, I started on Wednesday, August 14th,
Oh my
and
goodness.
I was woken up by the ironing man. I send out my ironing to get done because I'm terrible. I'm useless. I can't iron my own clothes. I've tried before. I've watched
Mhm.
tutorials.
So
For
sad.
some reason, every time I try to iron clothes, I put more creases into them. I cannot do it. I'm just bad with that thing, sort of thing. So this man comes and he collects my ironing. But I was amused when I went
Oh.
and gave him my ironing because he did this funny little run over to me. He like turned and he was like, and I don't know. That was stupid, but I wrote that down because I thought it was funny. And then later in the day, my mum sent me a strange text asking if I left little piggies
Mhm.
around her house the day before. And I was like, no. And I didn't inquire further. I feel like maybe I should have because I have no idea what that was all about. Did you leave little piggies around my house? I just said, nope, that was it. And she's just responded. She said, I think she said, oh, well, there's only one other person
Mhm.
that could be. But I didn't even
It
respond to that.
did.
So I don't
It
know what
was
this is
fine.
about little piggies around her house, but my mum collects pigs, by the way. So I feel like little pigs would be around her house anyway because she's just everything's filled with yeah. Anyway, I was eating some strawberries out of the packet later that day, and this was horrible because I felt really gross. I was eating these strawberries, like, oh, these are delicious strawberries. Strawberries, my favorite fruit. And suddenly, I look down, and the pack is full of little flies. And I'm like, and I spat it all out. I threw it in the bin. I'm like, ah! I drank so much water, I wanted to cry. That was like the worst moment in my week, I think. That was absolutely horrendous. I hated it.
Poor
Later that
Will.
day, I wrote a podcast episode. Had a good idea, it just flowed out. Went out for dinner with my grandparents, and Alex, I don't know if you know, probably not, but we had this little friend called Hilda. She was a giraffe with a pink suit, and she had leprosy. And we took her everywhere. She went on holiday places. She went with my grandparents to Dubai. She had been in Rome. She had been uh, in Spain. She had been in London. Hilda had been everywhere. Little Hilda. She was only this size, and we lost her.
Oh my
But
goodness.
we were very upset to have lost Hilda. Like Hilda's a celebrity. People in bars and everything, they were all upset. Regular bars and restaurants, they're like, "Oh my god, you've lost Hilda! What?" Everyone was so
Mhm.
upset.
So
But we
sad.
ordered a replacement for Hilda, who is a little mouse who wears a little costume, and her name's Wilma. But anyway, we'll get to that. So, R.I.P. Hilda, you will be missed.
Oh.
Drank a lot of wine and rum that night. Came home and watched a movie. I didn't write what the movie was, so I don't know. Mood was good throughout the day, energy levels decent. Felt productive and calm and sociable.
Mhm.
I feel like I said too much for that day. Anyway, the next day, morning and afternoon uneventful, pretty tired all day. Made some eggs, probably the highlight of the day. That's the day we recorded episode 3 and 4 of the podcast. Very low energy for episode 3. We were not feeling it. Although I did
Mhm.
think it turned out well. I think when I
It
watched it, it turned out
did.
okay.
It was fine.
But episode 4 felt really good. I'm excited for that one going up soon. Uh, Anyway, felt like a productive evening despite my tiredness. Then I decided to watch the movie Cocaine Werewolf before I went to bed, and I wish I hadn't done that because it was awful. Next day, got up early, had to go get some groceries because I was having a dinner party on the Sunday. Breakfast was nice. Had an amusing conversation over breakfast about Wilma, who was on her way, because she's coming from Zaya, and apparently she might have monkeypox because monkeypox is a big thing around that region. So my grandmother's husband Jim was making a joke about how, well, she's going straight into quarantine. He's going to be throwing her in a bath of bleach. Later went
Poor
to
Wilma.
dinner, blah, blah, blah. Came home, chilled in bed for a few hours. Should have slept earlier, but I'm dumb, so I didn't. And I wrote this at 3 a.m. Now I'm going to sleep. Next day was very uneventful. Almost nothing happened, other than planning out my Sunday dinner party. Got up very early to prep all my food. Was prepping for a long time. Had a good dinner party. Drank some wine. My sister and her boyfriend came over. That was good. Had a bad dream that night, but that was about it.
Hmm.
Next day I was tired all day. Uneventful. Ordered some food. I got a song stuck in my head. And I just wrote a line from it. Yeah, she's got all the guys in the world, but she's only fooling one girl. She's only fooling Tangerine. It was this really old song called Tangerine, and it
Mhm.
just got stuck in my head, and I don't know, it just kept going and going, and it was annoying me. I couldn't sleep. Anyway, that was the day we did that TikTok live stream, and now we were like, let's do a stream. I was so tired. I was like, I'm not doing anything today, and you're like, let's do a stream. I was like, okay, I'll do a stream, and we did a stream, and it was okay. But
It was fun.
it lifted my energy that day, so I was glad we did it.
Yeah.
Okay, last 2 days I have here. Tuesday the 20th of August, got up late, did nothing all day, but after dinner I ended up going to Tesco because I was craving chocolate, and I bought too much chocolate, and I ate too much chocolate. Edited a full podcast episode, spent a long time making a thumbnail because Zilver hated how she looked in one of them. And I was like, oh no. And so I got a bit out of control and I made like 10 options instead of
Mhm.
just making a couple of options. I was like,
Yeah.
let's make 10. And then I sent you all 10. And I was like, Anyway,
Good
then
for
I went
me
to sleep.
though. I like the
Yeah.
options.
But it was too many. That was 4 a.m. as I wrote that, so that was not good. Anyway, last day I wrote about was Wednesday 21st. I was woken up by an Amazon delivery guy at 11, and I was disappointed because I thought it was my new mouse friend, not Wilma. This is another mouse friend. I got this little mouse friend that goes in my pocket. His name's Dimitri, and he holds a little gun. Anyway,
Oh.
I was disappointed because it wasn't him, even though I thought it was going to be him. It was just a stupid Amazon delivery with like Coca-Cola or something.
Mm.
So it never arrived. I went back to sleep. Then I went out later and met Wilma. The new mouse had arrived. She's very strange. My grand's husband said she's from Chernobyl because she doesn't have any mouse features. Her face is just kind of weirdly flat, unlike a mouse.
That's an
So
awful thing to say.
he says a lot of awful
Yeah,
things.
I know.
Then I went and drank lots of wine and talked a lot. Came home, chilled out, ate a very nice cookie, watched a couple of episodes of Mob Psycho, and
Yeah.
then we spoke about creative projects, music videos, and screenplays.
Yeah.
And I was less tired that day. And then I was going to sleep at 4:25. Yeah, so that's what I wrote for my journaling. Not very many feelings in there. I wrote a little bit for reflecting. I said I felt tired a lot, but the levels of tiredness seemed to vary quite a bit. Great
Mhm.
reflecting, I know.
Mm.
Yeah, no standout emotions other than tiredness.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, kind of boring journaling. It was just this is what happened that day. This is what happened that day.
No, but I
Uh,
liked it. You had a lot of like fun little moments you included, so I like that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The highlights were definitely Wilma and
Yeah.
Wilma.
Wilma
I
and
loved
Wilma.
it. So whenever you journaled, did you like after the day was over, you were like, this happened, this happened, this happened, or did you
Yeah,
go throughout the day?
yeah. I was doing it at the end of the day. So the last thing before I
Mm.
went to bed, just before I went to sleep, I was writing. So a lot of these I have it written. It's after 4 a.m. as I write this, or I have
Okay.
another one and it's like it is 4:25 a.m. as I write this. So I actually was writing the time as well that I was going to sleep. So I was
Mm.
doing it right before I went to bed.
Did you feel like you gained anything from this? Like, I don't know, whenever we started this, were y'all like, my goal is this, you know?
No, but I am obsessed with data and tracking things. So I like doing it because like I do it for everything. Like
Mm.
I use websites to track movies I watch, I use websites to track books I read, I use for TV shows, I use things for keep stats on songs I listen. I keep stats and data for everything and I love tracking everything. And so I did enjoy doing this as well because I was also tracking my day to day.
Mhm.
So I do like that sort of thing. I get very obsessive about it when I start. I need to be a little careful or I go too far. So I was trying to be careful. I was like, no, just for a week, for a week, for a week.
I can go next because Alex is gonna be the best one. So the best for last.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay, so I basically just wrote like what I was doing every day, like, and I did draw a little in the journal. 16th of August. The day was spent relaxing with good music, YouTube videos, and a brief workout. I've been reconnecting with music after a while of not finding any good songs. It's a peaceful and liberating feeling to truly enjoy music. Okay. 18th of August. It's been colder lately. I started jogging recently, but the weather doesn't help my motivation. So instead, I've been doing yoga inside, listening to Naomi John's new album on blast like I don't have neighbors. 19th of August. I've been relaxing for most of last week as writing for the podcast completely took me out. Today as well, I'm focusing on easy hobbies like doodling and cooking. Spend some time with my sister and my niece. She loves playing games on my phone. My cat's been getting on my nerves with her screams of death. Though I feel like I'm doing so well giving her everything she needs, she seems to disagree. So these are more short little things. The next one, 21st of August. I went for a walk to the store with my sister and niece, trying to be more active in my daily life. Went for walks or jogs nearly every day of this week so far. Did some laundry and ordered McDonald's. Very interesting. 22nd of August. Feels like I've entered a routine lately. Not too happy about that. I like living messily and dangerously, though having responsibilities requires some routine, like having a cat, helping family and friends, cooking and taking care of my health and space. I feel like I never finish cleaning and tidying, which sucks because I've been tidying my apartment like crazy and it's still a mess. 23rd of August. Wrote my poem for the podcast. Actually, pretty pleased with this one. Changing up the wordplay a little and keeping it fresh. Went for a walk with my mom and we got caught in the rain. Was kind of refreshing. Been closer to nature and breathing deeper. Been working on my mental health, not avoiding fears, trying to overthink less while still facing everything more head on, putting myself out there even if it sometimes feels scary or too much. I want to live life to the fullest.
Whenever you started, y'all
Mhm.
know those like things in media where it's like scientists doing video recordings? They're like, okay,
Oh,
one.
The
That's
video
what it
logs.
gave me.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
video
video
logs.
logs.
yeah,
I should
true.
edit it that way. I'll put like a little date around it and a little frame. Just make it
Oh my
look like
god.
that. Some
That's what it
static.
sounded like. And I love it. I loved it so much.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Hello, today. Okay.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
So how did you feel about your journaling?
It went fine. I think I could have done something more interesting, but I sort of just wrote what I was feeling in the moment or
Hmm.
thought what I was thinking about my day, like what I've been doing today. So that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
Not really much like thought went into it. I just wrote something and doodled a bit, put some stickers in there. That was kind of fun to do. So,
You
yeah.
had some reflections though. I liked it. Like when you were talking about the cat and you were saying that you could have just said, her screams have been annoying me, but you actually went on and you said, I feel like I'm doing so well giving her everything she needs, but she seems to disagree. So you did put
Mhm.
some reflection in there. So you didn't just say what's happening. So you did go a little bit further than you give yourself credit for there. Give I like your little drawing of James as well, by the way. I have to add.
Yeah, James. I just felt like drawing something and I was like, oh, I should draw James.
James. And I also have to say, the last thing I really love is where how you put at the bottom. You didn't read this out, but you said, "See how my handwriting deteriorated on this page." I thought that was a good little note.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Did you gain anything from journaling? Like, I don't know. Was it I don't know, just a reflection of your day for you?
I do like doodling and writing down things, so I feel like it's always kind of fun to do. I haven't done much like journaling since I was maybe like 14. I don't know. I stopped doing that kind of thing and started like instead like writing about my feelings like sometimes instead. But I do like journaling sort of. And I did journal a bit in Scotland. That was more like a I don't know, like I put everything in there, like even little I glued little things in there like trinkets and stuff I found and stuff. So it was more like a not a journal but like a what do you call those
I think that
things?
still counts as journaling.
Scrapbook,
Oh,
scrapbook. There we
scrapbook.
go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Scrapbook and journal maybe.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I loved that little book because every time I saw you, you were like, "Oh, look what I've had in there," and I was looking through it. But yeah,
Yeah, it
we had
was fun. I
yeah,
do like being
because you filled it,
creative,
didn't you? You
so
filled the entire thing.
yep, the
Yeah.
whole thing. Not that it's not a big book, it's like a
Mm,
thin little book, but I should do more of that, I think.
I think you should because it was cool. It did seem fun. I was like, I wish I had one of these. It was just,
You
and it
could.
would be cool if you just had like a bookshelf filled with all of these, and you could be like, "Oh,
Wow.
this was this 3 month period of my life, and I can take it out and look back." And then you got another one for that 3 month, and you just have a whole bookshelf of that. I feel like that'd be
That
really
would
cool.
be cool.
Yeah, you're like 80, and you can go through it, and it's like, that was 20 years ago at this date.
I did not really do many like day-to-day things, so I'm wondering if that's going to be disappointing
No.
compared to y'all's. But the few day-to-day things, I didn't even put dates. I was I guess or forgetting about it.
Hmm.
Um but I said I went to see Coraline in theaters today. It was fun.
I'm
This is all
jealous.
on
Coraline.
like one page. But this is
Mhm.
not the fun part. Hmm. Oh, I have a whole page about how much I hate my job.
Oh my god. Give us the tea.
I said, people at my work make me feel like the smartest person alive. Um,
You should
hold
love it then.
on.
Yeah.
No, I
Good ego
hate
boost.
it. I hate it so much. I said, I'm very thankful for this job because it makes me feel smart and I get to practice on people. Like, I get to practice talking to people. I said I saw a mouse. I did write that.
Hmm.
You saw a
Um,
mouse?
I did see a mouse, and I think it's dead now.
Did it have a name?
No, y'all can name it, but I think it's dead.
Damn. Yeah,
Dead
can't name a dead
mouse. That's
mouse.
the name.
Yeah, I'll let y'all know whenever I go back if it's dead or
Yeah.
not. But or y'all can probably help me actually fill out
Yes.
this page. I do have a page that's the song of the month. I have a song for each month. We can start there.
Hmm.
Is
Wow.
that interesting?
Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Let's
Okay.
hear that. I want to hear that.
So, each month I like pick the song, I guess, that I've like played the most or resonated with me the most. Like, what's a fun one? February? I feel like everybody knew this song, the Murder on the Dance Floor song
Oh.
Yeah.
from what's that movie called?
Saltburn. It got really
Yeah.
popular after Saltburn. Yeah.
Yeah, I do love that song. Um, I have a
We
Megan Thee
danced to that a few times
Stallion.
in the club when we were in Edinburgh.
Mm.
Yes. I have like Megan Thee Stallion songs and stuff like that. But let's look at my list of this month's songs and y'all can help me pick, okay?
Okay.
I have Bills, 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 but the Glee cover by
Of
Darren
course,
Criss.
the Glee cover. You're obsessed with Glee.
I do love Glee. I have Barbie Tings by Nicki Minaj. That's been
Oh.
a big one lately. Um I have Cool for the Summer by Demi Lovato.
Oh. Oh, wow. Okay.
I know, these
It's
are like so good.
summer almost.
And
Yeah.
a big jump. I don't even know if y'all listen to this, but Matt Maltese is
I like
like a
Matt
Oh.
fish.
Maltese.
Like a fish
You've
by Matt
you've sent
Maltese.
Yeah.
me songs by him
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, that's the only one y'all gave a real reaction to, so I feel like I have to
That's the
put that one.
one I actually know. I'm
Oh,
terrible.
I know some of these. I think
Okay.
for you, Glee. because
my gosh.
you are obsessed, and
I
I feel
am
like
obsessed.
that's like 60% of what you listen to is just Glee.
Glee.
Mhm.
It's always Glee.
Glee.
Yeah. Y'all don't think Barbie Tings by
I don't know what
Nicki
that
Minaj?
song is.
No,
And also,
no,
can I say the only
I
thing
don't
I
think
know
so.
about Glee? I had a friend who made me watch a compilation of some woman. What's her name? Sue or something.
Sue
My,
Sylvester?
yeah, that's her. My friend made me watch like an hour compilation of her just being mean to people, and it was pretty amusing. But that's the only thing Glee I've ever really seen.
Okay, so I think I have to put the Glee cover by Darren Criss. Okay,
Yes.
Bills, Bills, Bills. Work. Okay, we did it. We did that together. That's so fun.
Yay.
Um, so you said that you like to put little stickers on your journal whenever you were journaling. You said that was
Mhm.
fun.
Mhm.
I also bought stickers
Ew.
for this journal, so I have a lot in here. On my catch-up page, I one of the stickers I got was a Honda sticker. Not necessarily into Honda, but I said started shopping for my first car that I'm gonna buy with my own money, and I put my Honda sticker on there. And I said not necessarily looking for a Honda. And then I said in quotes, my pen is starting to die out, and you can see the pen die out in that sentence.
That's funny.
I guess I'll send a picture of this, or I'll just show it here. I have like ticket stubs. But yeah, I went to like a festival, and I have that in here, my little ticket from that. Where are my fun pages?
Those weren't the fun ones.
I have a few. I have oh, we can go to my Would I Survive page.
Yes,
Oh, I'm
Y'all wanna
please.
excited for
play
that.
y'all wanna play the
Yeah,
game?
I'm
Okay.
excited for this.
So the first scenario, I'll give you 3. The first scenario is the zombie apocalypse.
Mhm.
What would y'all say?
How would I survive that?
Or no, or is it
Um,
how she would survive? If
How
she
would
would
you
survive.
you
would survive? Or
would you
me?
survive? Okay.
Oh,
Maybe I'll go first and I'll give an
Yes,
example.
please.
okay.
So my answer was I mean, of course I would die someday, but yes, the zombie apocalypse is my dream. I would give anything. I would survive very well. I
Mm.
would love to survive the zombie apocalypse. It's just a yes or no question.
No,
Would you
just
Oh,
yes or
survive?
no.
if
No
you
Yeah.
reasoning.
want to survive.
You can say reasoning if you want. I want to survive. A lot of people said that they would exit, themselves by their own will, but no.
Mhm.
I would survive.
Okay, I think I would want to like stay alive for a bit to see like what is going on and like see if someone's gonna like maybe save the world or something, and then I would maybe just yeet. Because I hate zombies. Like, they're the
You
fucking
do.
worst. I hate zombies so much.
I thought they were your favorite. Damn, and I was planning to make you write a zombie story for the next episode.
Oh my god, no, not the
No,
zombies.
I'm not, but one day.
One day,
Um,
yeah, we might
I
have
would
to.
I would like to survive, but like, because I hate the idea of death. To me, nothing's worse than death, and I'm so stubborn. It's like nothing's gonna kill me. I want to live forever. I don't care what the world's like. I want to live forever, but I just know what's going to happen. Is it's going to start out fine. I'm going to survive fine. Everything will be fine, and then when the water and the power and it all runs out and everything starts to go, I'm so obsessive about like cleanliness and stuff. And if I suddenly don't have running water to have a shower every day, and I can't use certain things and even the food, I'm not eating tins of beans and I'm so fussy with food. There's no way. So I'm going to go insane, and I'm going to die in some horrible accident because I'm going to go insane and just end up dying. So I would like to survive, but I won't.
Wow.
That's
Okay,
scenario
so
1.
okay,
Hmm.
next.
Next was just Five Nights at Freddy's. Would you survive Five Nights at
Oh my god.
Freddy's?
Ooh.
Yes.
Really?
I'm not. As a child, I was terrified of mascots and those animatronic things, but now, what are they going to do? Push them over
But
stupid
they'll kill
things?
you. They'll
Try it.
eat you.
They're scary, man.
They are
Well,
scary.
I'm just not going in that place in the first place. I'll stand outside. I'll watch
But
from the
if you were
window.
forced, You had to be the security guard, and you had to make it through 5 nights.
Maybe.
Maybe. Oh my goodness. Zilver?
I'd be constantly dying and screaming. So at some point I would die. Um Maybe I'd be lucky and like hide somewhere smart, but I don't think so. I would maybe just die. What about
Yeah.
you?
I said no, I'm too scared. I'd want to give Freddie a hug. But if he does whatever he does after, that's up to him. I
Wow.
don't think
You're
I would
just gonna
survive.
go straight in and give him a hug.
Oh yes, I
High
love him.
risk.
Wow.
High
I
risk
love him.
strategy.
And then the next one, the last one, I just put Soul Surfer, which is a movie about a girl getting her arm bit off, so by a shark.
Go by a shark. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So would y'all survive that? You think they did? Like, they sent her to the hospital, so I guess
Well,
she survived
wait.
by other people's will. But
Yeah. Where is this happen? Are we deep out in the water or is it in the shallow of the water? Because I think
she
that makes a big
was
difference.
she was surfing, so wherever you are to
So it would
surf.
have been quite far out, maybe. I mean, I can't
Yeah.
surf. That wouldn't have happened to
Me
me because I
neither.
would have just fallen off as soon as I got on the board. So,
Mm.
Yeah. I don't know. Just a
can you
shark
swim
bite.
with one arm?
She
Yeah.
had people around her, so I guess it's up to the people if they're gonna save you.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
not really about you; it's about the people.
You're so
Okay,
right.
so if you're
Would you want
surrounded
to?
by your friends, will you survive?
No.
It depends how much they like you as
I
well.
don't know.
Which friends?
True. Some of my friends are very scared, so they would just swim away.
Yeah, it's one of
Yeah.
those things where
So
they don't need to outswim the shark; they just need to outswim you.
yeah, because
Very
I'm the
true.
bait now, so they
Yeah,
can just get away
yeah.
safely. And I'm fine with that. My friends can live. I can die.
I think if I was soul surfered and you two were there, I think I would die.
No, I would save you. I would save you. I'd do everything to save you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I cannot say the same.
I'm actually a decent swimmer, so I would be able to, I think.
You wouldn't even
Try.
call like the people. You could be the person that goes and calls the
Okay,
rescue
yeah, I can do that.
services,
I can do that.
and Silver can like hold
I'm
my
not a bad
arm from
swimmer.
bleeding.
I would maybe try, but I'm not getting too close to the shark. If I think there's an
Mm.
opportunity to like help, okay, sure. But if I'm putting myself at too much risk, sorry, but I'm off.
True, I
Wow.
understand that. I
Yeah,
understand that,
Selfish.
and that's
yeah, sure,
okay.
sure. That's me.
Sure.
I'm
Yeah,
That
happy
is
that's
with
very
it.
fine.
funny. I have like my introduction page.
Oh, yes.
Ooh,
Is that interesting?
Yes.
yes.
It's just about me.
Yes. Good. We
Okay.
love hearing about you.
Okay. Um, I said April 5th of this year, I started this journal. Um, I said I'm 23 years old. My birthday. I put my birthday. This is so millennial, but I did put my Hogwarts house. I did say
Oh,
this year I'm feeling quite like a Hufflepuff. What would y'all put?
yes. Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw.
I think anytime I've ever done one of those tests to see which house you are, it gave me Ravenclaw. So I guess
Ravenclaw.
I have to say that. I do love the name Hufflepuff though. I think that's the best name. That is obviously the
Yeah,
best
I
name.
do like
Like
that. Wait,
So many.
maybe
I want to
Slytherin
name a
actually.
pet Hufflepuff. I just want
Oh,
to
that's
name something
cute.
Ooh,
Hufflepuff.
The viewers have been dying to know y'all's houses, so I'm glad I asked.
the viewers.
I put my zodiac sign. I'm a Capricorn. I did put some cool stickers in here. I said my favorite color was pink.
Yay.
I said my favorite movie was the Goofy movie. Have y'all seen the
The
Goofy
Goofy
movie?
Yeah,
movie? I have not seen the
I
Goofy
love the
movie.
Goofy movie.
I need
It's
to
such a
watch the
good
Goofy
Really
movie.
movie.
good.
I
You
will add it to
Yeah.
my
should.
watch. I will watch it. Maybe not today,
You
but
use
I will watch it.
Letterboxd?
I do.
Yeah, I need to see your Goofy movie review because it's 10
Okay.
out of 10.
It
Okay.
is.
I will
It's
make sure
like
you see that.
so good.
My favorite TV show, obviously, The Walking Dead.
Hmm.
My favorite people, I'm gonna exclude some names, but I said my mom, my dad, I put some friends, and then I put Zilver.
Yay! I made it in the book.
You didn't. You're in this book so many, or in a lot of books so many times.
Really?
I have a character page for
Wow.
you somewhere.
Oh my god, can you read
I hope the
that?
front of the book doesn't say Death Note.
Character page.
Extras. I put my cat, music, feeling put together, coloring, dancing, and crafts.
Yay, crafts.
And
Because you work with crafts. You teach people crafts.
yeah, I do crafts like every week. That's
Mm-hmm.
part of my job.
So you're
Um,
very patient.
oh yes, because I teach children.
Oh, so
Our
that's why you feel like you're the smartest person in the world.
um, that's not what I was talking about.
Yeah.
The kids, they're fine. The kids are fine. Their parents, though, I hope none of them watch this, but they're all kind of crazy. The parents are crazy. In both like fields of work I do, I teach dance, and those parents are crazy, and then the other parents at my other job, they're actually crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm smart compared to the 9-month-old.
9 month? Wow.
And the 9-month-old are smart compared to the parents.
Very true. It's so true.
So, is there anything else guys want to say about this general sort of journaling experience? I know, Alex, you obviously journaled for a long time, so I assume you're going to keep journaling. But what about you, Zilver? Are you going to journal more? Would you like to journal more?
I would, but maybe not every day, but like maybe like just sometimes if something happens that I want to write down, I could like dedicate a notebook to like just writing down like special occasions or like feelings
Hmm.
and doodle some stuff maybe. Yeah, what about you, Ryan?
I would like to do a little bit more. And actually, I kind of have been. I just remembered. I've been using this app on my phone, not sponsored, by the way. It's called Finch. And it's like you get this little pet, and it's every day you have like goals, and you can set your own goals, or the thing will give you goals. And it's stupid stuff. It's like, oh, brush my teeth, take my pills, do
Mm.
Love
something that made me
that.
happy, drink water. And every time you say you've done one of the goals, it gives little experience points, and this little pet that you get grows up or it gains like experience. So today it had something and it learned about, I can't remember what it was. It learned about apples or something, and it asked me my opinion of apples. And you can give like an opinion, and then that influences the little thing. But also, every time I open the app, it asks me, "How are you feeling today?" And it gives you little smiley faces. And so I press it, and then if you want, you can elaborate and type something. And then
Mm.
if in the morning it'll ask, "How motivated are you for today?" And then what it lets you do is you can go into your stats, and it'll show you the past week and the things, the keywords that maybe popped up, or how your mood kind of looked and stuff like that. And so I have actually been journaling now for maybe a few weeks using that. I don't really
Mm.
write things very often, but I do have like this little mood chart. So I will probably continue using that, and I would maybe
Mhm.
type more in that, but I probably won't do the traditional journaling.
Yeah, because you get so
Yeah.
obsessed and crazy.
Yeah, I try to calm
I love
myself down.
that. My question is, uh, whenever y'all started, did y'all have like I don't know, whenever y'all started your journaling for this podcast, did y'all have a motivation behind it? I know Ryan said that he likes to track things
Mm.
and keep data and stuff like that. Silver, did you have a specific motivation?
I sort of just sat down uh, during the day or evening and started writing. I'm usually just like I just start writing and then see how it
Yeah.
goes. So I didn't think about it much before starting really. I'm just like a pretty
I would say,
spontaneous
Good. I'm
writer.
doing
yeah,
this now. Yeah. So did
Mhm.
you have a specific goal doing it for this rather than, or were you just journaling as normal and then decided to share some of that?
me.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So my like general motivation in journaling is I have like memory issues.
Hmm.
So this way I don't know. I can go back and be like, wow, she felt like this. I felt like this, you know? Um, and whenever y'all pitch doing a podcast together, with me as the guest, I was like, I don't know what I could write, but this is one thing that I write mostly I tried to have some funny things in there for this
Yeah.
week, but yeah.
And hey, you said you weren't comfortable with the poem, but your poem turned out good as well, so you should be
Mhm.
happy at least with
Thanks.
that. I mean, you didn't know what you could write, but you had the comfortable part, the journaling that you usually do, and then the poem was sort of related to that as well. But I think that your poem turned out really well as well, so it was all good.
It
Thanks.
did. It was amazing.
I think I might try and continue writing things like that, like y'all do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Please do. I want to read everything you write.
Okay, so are we done? We done?
Yeah.
Thank you all for watching this episode of the Ghost Book Archive. If you want to check out all our links, you can do that. Go to ghostbookarchive.com. Yes, we have a domain now. Ghostbookarchive.com. All of our links are there. They'll also be in descriptions, all that crap as well.
Awesome. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. And thank you, Alex,
Oh
for
yeah, and
being
thank
on
you, Alex,
the.
for being our first ever guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tune in next week for all about pirates.